Hello everyone and welcome for this new tutorial. In this tutorial we will keep working on our inventory system. Today we will see how to make an outline around the objects that are next to us so that we will be able to have a clue when there is an object that we can actually pick up. We will also start using interface to change our system to remove all the casting so it will be more optimized, and we will see also how to simulate the physics on the object. So we have a lot of stuff to cover, so let's jump right now to Unreal. So last time we worked on the inventory system and we made the pickup item. It's an actor that we can actually pick up when they are next to our character. I'll show you. If you didn't saw that video, the link will be in the description, so go check it out if you want to see how to make this simple pickup system. And now we need to add an outline around the weapon when we are next to it. We start making that. To achieve that, we will use a post-process material. When we will be next to a weapon, we will show the outline around the weapon. So we create a new materials folder. We'll create a new folder inside called outline. And then we can create our new material. m_outline. So there will be a lot of nodes in the material. I'm not gonna go through each of them. Just follow along, you will have an outline material that's gonna work. So let's open that material. First, we will change the material domain. It will be post-process. That will be a material for the post-process. And you can see that now we have only the emissive color that is available. So we just work with this. So we'll use a node called send texture. This into the send texture on the left, we can change the send texture ID. It will be post-process input 0. So that we'll have access to color size and int size. We'll need the color. From the color, we will just do a lerp, linear interpolate. We'll keep this into the A, and we can plug this into the emissive color. Into the B, we will need constant for vector. It will be the color of the outline. So we right click and convert this to a parameter. Now we change the name. This outline color. We'll give it a default color. I like to put it white. From this color, we need to make it as a float because the B channel will only use a float. So we'll do this. You put the R channel into the X, green into the Y, blue into the Z, and the alpha into the A. From this outline color, we will use a multiply, and this multiply we'll put it into the. From the multiply, we'll create a new parameter. So it's a scalar parameter. We'll call this glow intensity. Put the default value of 1. And then we need to multiply. As an outline, I would like the outline to be showing, then fading. So to do that, we will use the scene remapped node. So I can go in here and do scene remap. So it should be a sign like this from 0 to 1. And when it will be 0, the glow will be at 0. So there will be no color. And when it will be at 1, the glow will be at 1. And it's gonna show the outline. To make this sign remapped work, we need the time node. To use this time node, we put it into the sign. So we need to break this remapped sign. We'll use the breakout float tree component. And then from this, we will make a float. We do make float 4. Plug this in here. Put RGB into XYZ. And into the alpha, we'll put a constant, which will be 0. Now we can plug this in here. And we can see already on the left, in here, it's glowing. If I put 1, it will be 100% glowing. You can see. So we can change the glow intensity if we want, for example, 5. It will show a little bit more in the world. We will see that after. I'm just gonna put 0 into the lerp, and now we'll have a lot of nodes to use to create the alpha. So it should be how to specify which line we want to outline. So there will be a lot of nodes. Let's put this here. So we start by using a view size. From this view size, we use the cell node. Then we clamp this node from 1 to 2. And now we create a new scalar parameter. We call this line width. With this node, we'll be able to specify the width of the outline. And we multiply this by this value. We need a new multiply node. And we need to multiply this value by the scene texel size. Then we will need the screen position node. From this screen position node, we will use the mask node in here, the component mask. We'll use only R and G. Then I will use the node add. I will need 4 of them. Just put 4 add node. Like that. I will put RG in all of the node. Okay, and now we'll use this value. From this value, we'll use a mask, component mask, and we will get the R value. From the X value, I will append vector, and in here we'll use the constant 0. You can plug this into the first add. I will just move them a little bit. We do the same with this one. We do a component mask, and we'll get the G for the Y value, and then we will append. Up, not append mini, we will append vector. And I will need to append the 0 into the A and the G into the B. And we'll use this on the first add. Then from the two other add node, I will need to have the invert of this append and the invert of this append. So I will multiply this value by -1. And I will plug this one in here. Then I will use another multiply node with -1. I will put this one in. Now we need some scene texture. Up. And we will choose the custom depth. This one. And I will paste it 4 times. Because I need 5 of them. And now we'll use our value of the add into the UVs like that. Then we will need some subtract node. So I will right click to subtract. And we will subtract color from this with color from this. We need another one and subtract the color from the first custom depth to the third custom depth. Up. I will go like that with one subtract for each of the custom depths. And now we need to add them. So we'll add this one with this one. I'm gonna add this one with this one. I'm gonna create another add to add these two together. And then we need to divide this result. So I will use divide by a new scalar parameter. And it should be the edge angle fall off. We'll put -100 for now. And then we need to subtract 1 from this value. Now we can clamp it from 0 to 1 and we can plug this into the alpha. So now we have our outline material. In here, I'm going to add a new parameter to be a switch parameter, static switch parameter. Call this use fade in out glow. In out glow. If we will specify true, we will use this sign remapped. And if we don't want to use the glow, because we can create a material that's going to use the fade in, fade out, and one material that's going to not do that if we want to just show an outline and not going in and out. And on the false, we will just use a constant. And we'll just put 1 up like that. Okay, now we can create a material instance. ME for material instance, use outline fade in out. Because we specify this to true. Okay, let's open all of this. So I will want this to be fade in, fade out. Outline color will be white, that's good. And we will see for this, maybe I will change it later, we will see how it goes. And now we can use this material into a post-process volume. So we'll need to add a post-process volume. We'll add into volume, we'll type post-process. Up, we have our post-process volume. So into the post-process volume, in the search bar, I will type infinite. Press true. So that post-process volume will work everywhere in the scene. We will go into a rendering feature. And in here, we can see the post-process material. So we can add a new post-process material. We'll choose asset reference. And now we can go click on our material instance outline fading out and press on this button. So now we are using our material. So you can see that in here, nothing is glowing because we need to add something on our item. For example, if I go on this item, so into the detail panel, we'll click on our item, and in the search bar, we'll type depth. And in here, we have the render custom depth path. And if I press true to this, you can see in here that there is the glowing effect around the object. So that's pretty cool. If I go into the material instance and I actually remove this one, it will just be glowing all the time. As you can see, there is a little glowing effect that you can see. It's a little issue. If you go back into a material, click on the material outline, and if you go down to post-process material, into the detail panel, I will just increase the size so you can see. Into the post-process material, we can see to the blendable location, we have send color after tone mapping. We need to change this to send color before DOF. And if we save, now we don't have the flicker anymore. It's perfectly clean. So you can see that if we press false onto our switch, you can see that the outline stays. And if we go into the material instance and we press true, we see that now we have the glowing in and out effect on our weapon. So we'll keep this because I prefer to have it like that. So now we have the glowing effect. So now we need to change the render custom def pass to true when we are actually going next to a weapon. So we'll start doing that. And now we will use interface. What we did in the last video. I'll go into my third person character. In here, we casted to the pickup item, and that's not very nice. We should actually use interface. So we'll start using interface right now. So we'll change the blueprint. First of all, we'll go into the inventory system and we'll right click, create a new folder. We call this interface. To create an interface, we have to go to blueprint. And here we have blueprint interface. We call this I_can interact. In this can interact interface, we create a new function. The first one will be show outline. The second function will be hide outline. And the third function will be interact. And on this interact function, we'll create a new input. It should be the actual actor, which has interact with this item into the input. And now into the variable, we'll just use actor. Okay, it should be an object reference. Compile and save. And now we can go on our pickup item and we will add this interface. To add an interface, we have to go to class settings, and in here we have the interface. Into the implemented interface, we can add a new one. So we put I_can interact, and that's our interface. If you want to check which interface you have, you can go in here. You just use this little button and you can see that we have the can interact interface. Now on the bottom left, we can see in here into my blueprint, we have all the functions that we need to set up. So now that we have implemented an interface, we need to implement the function that are part of this interface. So we'll start with the show outline. As we saw, we just need to set to true the custom def pass. So I will just get my item. We'll do set custom, and I'll use the set render custom depth. Up, like that. And we press this to true. Now we can double click into the outline, and it's going to create this event. We just copy this in here like that and put false. And we'll do the interact after. If I go into my third person character, now we can use this interface, and now we do not need to cast. So one thing that we need to do first, we will change this variable because we put that this is a BP pickup item, but we do not need this anymore. We can just say that this is just a bunch of actor. Change the variable type. It's not going to be very happy. We just remove this. Up, and we will take care of this interact after. So now we need to be careful because when we will overlap with an actor, we don't want to put every actor in this array. We just need the actor that can actually interact with the player. We need to make sure that this actor is actually a pickup item. To do that, we'll create a new function into this interface, and we'll say is interactable. And we'll just create a new output, interactable, and we'll make this as a boolean. Now that you have created a new function into our interface, we need to actually implement it. So you have this function is interactable. We just put true in here. And now we can use this function. So by using this other actor, we can do is interactable. And we need to use this is interactable message. So if this is interactable, so if this other actor has the can interact interface, it's gonna call this function, and then we will get the result of this. So we can just add a boolean. If it's true, we will need to add this to our array, like that. And then we need to call the show outline, like that. I will double click to create reroute node to make it cleaner. Like that. And now we don't have any more cast, and that's gonna work perfectly fine. So now that everything that has this interface can interact and has this show outline and is interactable and so on, this will work with any interactable object that has this interface can interact. Do the same with this pickup collision. So when the actor leaves the box that we have created last time, this pickup collision, we'll check is this interactable, and if it's true, please. Gonna get this item near player to pick up, and we will remove an item. This item will be the actor. And then we will just hide the outline. Gonna get this actor and do the hide outline message. Like that. Gonna add some reroute node by double clicking. Okay, perfect. So now everything is working. So it will be working for our pickup item, and it will also be working if you want to interact with a door, for example. And if you want some outline, we could create in this is interactable another boolean if you want this to show some outline or not. Maybe you can have some different stuff. For example, for a door you will want to, I don't know, how to show a specific message and do stuff like that. You can work with this interface to make it work. We'll see that in another video later on. And now that this should be working, we are just gonna remove this to go test it out. I would like to check if the outline is working. So I'm gonna go with my character next to a weapon. And you can see that the outline is working. If you have multiple weapons next to me and multiple stuff that you can actually pick up, you can see that the outline is working perfectly fine. So now we have a clue, you have a visual clue that we can actually pick up something. Now we need to make our interact function. So in this interface, we have created the interact function, and this interact function needs an actor. So in this interact that we have created last time, I'm gonna get this item near player to pick up. We'll do is not empty to make sure that we can actually interact with something. Like that. And now we don't need to do this cast. And this we will see later for this. Just gonna remove that. So now if the item near player to pick up is not empty, we will get the nearest item next to the player. And from this nearest item, we will call the function interact. So you have this interact message, like that. And we will do, for this actor, we will call this self. I will press E to interact. If my item in the player is not empty, we will get the closest one from the player, and we will call this function interact. And this will call this function that is in my interface. And then we just need to specify it in the pickup item. So in the pickup item, we will need to add this item into the inventory of our player. If it's another type of item, or a door, or a car, or anything, for example, for a door, this event interact will open it. If you have enough money or stuff like that, it will depend on how you want to open the door. Okay, so now that you have interact, our character will interact with this object. So as it is the pickup item, we need to add this into the inventory of the player. So we'll create an interface for our third-person character. So we'll go into the blueprint of our third-person character, we'll create a new folder interface, and we'll create an interface. Complete interface. You can call this I_player. And so every player that's gonna have this interface will have all of these functions. And one of the functions we can add in this is add item to inventory. And into the input, we need the actual item that we want to pick up, which will be the structure item, to add that into the inventory. Compile and save. And now if I go into my pickup in my event interact, this actor which has interact with this object, we can call the add item to inventory. And so if this actor that has interacted with this pickup item has an interface player, then this function will be called. And if the object that, or the player or the character that has interacted with this object doesn't have the interface player, it will not be able to add that item to inventory. Okay, so I will need something more into this function. I will add also the actor to be the item actor, and this will be of type actor. Like that. So the pickup item gets triggered into his interact. It's gonna call this add item to inventory. Just do it again, add item to inventory to get the new variable. And so item will be this item structure. You can just put this in here. And the pickup actor will be self, because we need to destroy that actor after we do this add item to inventory into our player. So on the third person character, we will go into the class default, into the class settings. In here, we can see implemented an interface. We will add a new interface of type player. And now into interface on the left, you can see our new function add item to inventory. We need to get this inventory. We will add this item into our inventory and we will destroy. I'm just gonna do isValid before destroying, just to make sure it's available. Up. And now we can just destroy actor. And now everything should be working. I'm gonna go near the gun, for example. So you can see that they are both glowing. I will go next to the gun, like that. In here, you can see that we have both of my items on the near player to pick up. I will press E. Now I have one item into my inventory, the pistol, and one item near player to pick up, it's the other one. If I show you the game, you can see that the gun has disappeared. And if I press E again, we will get the sniper rifle, then the sniper rifle disappear, and everything is working perfectly fine with interface. And now just for the little bonus, we will add some physics on our pickup item. So if we open it and we go into item, in here we have simulate physics. We will not be able to press true because we didn't specify the static mesh. We'll do that into the construction script. So in here we set the static mesh and then we get our item and we set physics. So it will be the set simulate physics. Up, do true. And now we'll have physics on all of our items. You can see they all fall. And now if I go next to them, I can actually push them. To make this work, make sure that your item, your pickup item, has the static mesh as a collision box. You can see on my item, on my gun, for example, if I show collision, you can see that we have the simple box collision around the gun. So make sure that you have a collision. If you do not have a collision on the gun, you can go in here and do the add box simplify collision, or you can use any of them. Just check the one that works for you. That's it for today. I hope you got a lot of information in this video. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next episode on this tutorial series. On the next episode, we will see how to add a widget around an item that we want to pick up. So on the nearest item, we will add a widget, and this widget will follow the player. So if we run around, we will see the widget that's gonna follow the player. And so we'll do that on the next video. Then we will see how to make the inventory component and make the inventory widget. We will see that in another video after the next one. And if you don't want to miss all of that, don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section. And if you want, you can join the Discord server. The link will be in the description. If you have any question, if you want to show us what you are working on, don't hesitate to join the Discord server. And for me, I will see you on the next episode. Bye.